Hello and welcome to this News 9 special. There is a huge rebellion that is brewing in Congress, especially in Rajasthan. Sachin Pilot has again raised the banner of revolt against Ashok Gehlot in Rajasthan. And the reason for this is that he says that Ashok Gehlot has been going soft, especially on the corruption charges against Vasundhara Raje. And he says that this was one of the poll promises that action would be taken against those who were involved in those corruption scams. But since the Gehlot government has not gone hammer and tongs against those allegations, it has resulted in Sachin Pilot, in fact, coming out in the open and going on a dharna and saying that these election promises must be implemented. Well, it took a lot of time for the Congress High Command to find some kind of a peace between Gehlot and Sachin Pilot. But right now, it looks like just months ahead of elections, you have a huge rebellion that is brewing. To discuss more about this, we have with us, let's give listening to what Sachin Pilot is in fact saying on the issue right now. Let's cut across.
मैंने कभी भी प्रतिशोध की भावना के साथ या द्वेषपूर्ण भावना के साथ कार्रवाई करने पर ना कभी मैं पहले सहमत था ना आज सहमत हूं। लेकिन ये बात भी सच है कि विपक्ष में रहते हुए हमारी जो विश्वसनीयता थी वो तभी कायम रह सकती है जब हम अपनी बात पर खरा उतरें। इसको लेकर मैं बहुत चिंतित था और आज से लगभग सवा साल पहले मैंने मुख्यमंत्री अशोक गहलोत जी को चिट्ठी लिखी। उनको मैंने कहा, वो चिट्ठी मेरे साथ है, मेरे सामने है। मैंने बड़े विस्तार से पूरे घटनाक्रम का विवरण उसमें रखा और मैंने कहा कि हमारी सरकार को बने अब लगभग 3.5 साल हो गए। उस समय अब समय आ गया कि हम लोग अपने वादों पर खरा उतरें। जो आरोप हमने लगाए थे, गहलोत जी ने लगाए, मैंने लगाए, भूमाफिया के, शराब माफिया के, खनन माफिया के, 9TP को लेकर, ललित मोदी को लेकर, खान माफिया को लेकर, खान का बड़ा घोटाला हुआ था, वो सारे पब्लिक डोमेन में है। मैंने उनसे आग्रह किया था कि 1.5 साल बचा है चुनाव में और हम लोगों को, कांग्रेस जनों को ये दिखाना पड़ेगा कि हमारी कथनी और करनी में फर्क नहीं है। मैंने तमाम जो हमारे स्टेटमेंट्स थे, जो हमने प्रतिक्रियाएं दी थी, जनसभाओं में, प्रेस वार्ता में जो आरोप लगाए थे, वो सब उनको मैंने दिए और उसकी कॉपी मैंने AICC में तमाम लीडरशिप्स को दी कि हम चाहते थे संज्ञान इसका लिया जाए। ये पहली चिट्ठी मैंने लिखी थी 28 मार्च 2022 को। उसका मुझे जवाब नहीं मिला, तो फिर मैंने 2 नवंबर 2022 को एक और चिट्ठी लिखी। उसमें इनको बड़ा विनम्रता से आग्रह किया कि मैंने आपको पहले लिखा था, ये प्रकरण हुए, ये आरोप आपने लगाए, मैंने लगाए, पूरी कांग्रेस पार्टी ने लगाए और जनता ने हमारी बातों को विश्वास किया। तभी तो हम लोग जहां सिर्फ 21 सीटों पर रह गए थे 2018 के चुनाव में, 2013 के चुनाव में 21 से लेकर हम 100 तक पहुंचे, तो हमारी बात पर लोगों ने विश्वास किया था। चिट्ठी लिखी मैंने 2 नवंबर 2022 को, उसका भी जवाब मुझे मिला नहीं। और हम चाहते हैं कि जब जनता के बीच जब सिर्फ 6 महीने का 7 महीने का समय बचा है, तो हम लोग पब्लिक में जाएं, उससे पहले हम लोग कुछ कार्रवाई करें।
सर, सचिन पायलट जो है अपने ही सरकार के खिलाफ में बैठने जा रहे हैं, कल धरने में बैठे। वो कह रहे हैं कि जो हमने वादा किया था वो पूरा नहीं कर पा रहे, इसलिए मुझे बैठना पड़ रहा है और सीधी चुनौती वो आपके आला कमान को भी दे रहे हैं।
वहाँ के मामले में राजस्थान में अशोक गहलोत जी बहुत सुलझे हुए नेता हैं और ऐसे बहुत सारी अड़चनें आई हैं और मैं समझता हूँ वो सुलझा लेंगे।
Well, to discuss more on this, in the studio we have Brajesh Pandey, who is political editor for News 9. From the newsroom, we have Kartikeya Sharma, who joins us, the executive editor of News 9. And we have Tehsing Poonawalla, Congress spokesperson, who also will be joining us. Now, let me go first to Kartikeya Sharma. Kartikeya Sharma, how do you in fact see this statement on the part of Pilot? Because Pilot has made this statement just 6 to 7 months ahead of the elections. It is a preemptive attack on Gehlot. How do you see this?
I think there are two things here. The first is that it's the inability of it's the inability of the Gandhis to resolve the difference between the two warring factions in Rajasthan. So it's an embarrassing situation. That is one. And this is when Sachin Pilot walked with Rahul Gandhi in Bharat Jodo Yatra. That's number one. And secondly, despite the fact that he had given a deadline, it went through Rajasthan smoothly. For now, Sachin Pilot to give an ultimatum on this issue it's less about Rajasthan, it's more about central leadership. Varghese, elections are due this year. You have two people at the top fighting with each other. It's bringing the morale of the Congress party down. One has to see the larger picture. It is bringing the morale of the Congress workers down. Rajasthan is one state where when Congress lost election, did exceptionally poorly. When I say exceptionally poor in the sense, it means that the numbers go below 40 seats, 30 seats. Even if Bharatiya Janata Party, who also has the tradition of losing Rajasthan successively, then it doesn't go beyond 40 seats or 45 seats. That's number one. Secondly, in my opinion, I think somewhere Sachin Pilot is trying to draw a red line. And this is happening right before the 13th of May. When Karnataka goes to poll, Congress party is in a better shape than Bharatiya Janata Party. In all likelihood, Congress party can emerge as the single largest party there, maybe with simple majority. And then for Mr. Pilot to raise this issue, I think is symptom of larger problems within the Congress party, which is that the regional satraps are not listening to the current leadership, or else this sort of a behavior was unseen, unacceptable during the UPA years in power or during Sonia's year when she was out of power. So I think it's less about ambitions of Sachin Pilot, and I think it's more about damaging Ashok Gehlot. Tell me, what will Sachin Pilot gain by becoming Chief Minister of State, which they are about to lose? What is he going to get? Is he going to, has he decided to inherit all the anti-incumbency? Any sane person will not do so. That person will not do so. So I think the intention is something different. Intention is to run down Ashok Gehlot, give a message that Mr. Gehlot is in partnership with the former Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje. They help each other out. I think that's the larger message here.
Well, that's quite an interesting opinion coming in. Brijesh, how do you see this? Over here, we see this rebellion surfacing just 6 months before the elections. Is Sachin trying to play that I'm an outsider to this Gehlot loyalist system, and therefore I'm raising my questions with Gehlot? And as Kartikeya was saying, is it an attempt to finish off Gehlot's possibility in the next 5 years? Because Rajasthan, the electoral history has been to swing from the BJP to the Congress, and probably this time you would see the BJP emerging. That looks like how the trend is. But is that the real game plan of Sachin Pilot?
Well, there are two issues in this. First and foremost is that, by attacking Vasundhara Raje, what Sachin Pilot is doing is that, that he's hitting at a soft spot as far as Ashok Gehlot is concerned, because everybody knows the kind of equation which Ashok Gehlot and Vasundhara Raje share. Many people say that the rebellion which was done by Sachin Pilot, the reason why the Ashok Gehlot government didn't fall was because it was Vasundhara Raje, who tipped off Ashok Gehlot in the nick of time, and it also sent a message to the party high command, which is the BJP, that she will not be, party to this bringing down an electorate government and then trying to form the government. And many credit this to be 80% of the reason why Ashok Gehlot was able to save this government and survive. So this is a message number one, that he is trying to hit out at Vasundhara, and through Vasundhara he's targeting Ashok Gehlot, that the only reason you are not taking action against the charges which we had, when they were in the opposition party, had leveled, is because you share a great rapport with Vasundhara. Second is, I think, Sachin Pilot has also understood that contrary to the promise which has been made by Rahul Gandhi, the top man of the Congress party, is not going to fructify anytime soon. And with that not fructifying, he has also realized that, that the only hope which is there for him is to ensure that the Congress doesn't come back to power, because that will ensure that the Gehlot is out of circulation for another 5 years. So that will be his sweet revenge, because if Congress comes to power, then, there is no guarantee that anybody's promise will hold the test of loyalty as far as Rajasthan Congress is concerned. We have seen how the central leadership, completely devoid of the local brewing which was going on the ground, tried to remove Ashok Gehlot, and we saw Ashok Gehlot, who's a staunch Gandhi loyalist, turned into a rebel and ensured, literally forced the high command to beat a hasty retreat. So Sachin Pilot, it seems, has made peace with the situation, and now he wants just to make sure that to embarrass Gehlot, the party, and ensure that, that come what may, the party doesn't come back to power.
Well, let's in fact get Tehseen Poonawalla into the discussion. Tehseen, what is actually brewing in Rajasthan Congress? You have a very aspirational leader who wants to in fact head that state in Sachin Pilot, a generational aspiration leader, and then you have a very old loyalist in Gehlot, and the dilemma has been going on for the Congress High Command for almost 4.5 years and seems to be having no resolution. What is the Congress going to do about this? Because there needs to be a resolution on the ground, because you'll be facing elections in the next 6 to 7 months. What is the Congress up to right now?
Sir, thank you so much for having me on the show. And just to clarify, I'm not a Congress spokesperson. I'm not even a member of the Congress. Yes, I follow the Congress extremely closely. I am a political commentator that follows the Congress extremely closely. And I do vote for the party, but I'm not a member of the party, just to clarify. Let's come to the larger issue that has been raised with Sachin Pilot versus Ashok Gehlot. And I think what Kartikeya said was accurate to a large degree. There is, without doubt, a problem in the Congress in Rajasthan. Now, when you look at elections that are going to take place in 2023, in the run-up to the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, I, as a political commentator, a political analyst, or a Congress supporter, ask myself which are the states that the Congress will win. It's 100% winning Karnataka, provided they score no self-polls. It has a very good chance of retaining Chhattisgarh and taking Madhya Pradesh. But when you come to Rajasthan, there is a problem. And you've got to be honest. If you've got to diagnose the problem, the Congress wants to diagnose this problem, and wants to solve this problem, or treat this problem, it is to diagnose it correctly. So let's be honest. Rajasthan, the Congress has a massive problem. Let's extend this to 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Ask yourself, is the Congress going to win any Lok Sabha seats in Rajasthan in 2024? Maybe except the one odd seat, it's going to be difficult for the Congress to win. Now, this is a direct fight between the Congress and the BJP. So the party will need to do something drastically. That's point number one politically. Point number two. The fact is that you may call somebody as a loyalist, you may call somebody as aspirational or wanting to have chief ministerial ambitions. Those are adjectives I leave to you. But I know as a loyalist, and I can say that as a loyalist, yours is not to question why, yours is what to do or die. If somebody cannot give up a simple chair when asked, when the party is in a deep trouble, and take over the position that they've been asked to take over, a simple chair of a chief minister, when the party's made you 3 times, 4 times chief minister, then do these adjectives apply accurately? I leave that to your discretion. In my opinion, when you're a loyal worker of the party or you're a loyalist, then you must be able to give up anything that the party asks. The party must come first, not your personal ambitions or your children's ambitions. Point number 3, let's ask yourself electorally, which is the only leader who can sort of bring an increased vote for the Congress? There are fence sitters, there are young voters, there are women voters who may vote for the BJP or the Congress. Which is the leader who can attract these people? That is the question that needs to be asked. And lastly,
the big question being asked by Pilot is that why is it that the Gehlot government is quite silent when it comes to the accusations against Vasundhara Raje? This is the simple question he's putting forward. So over here, we are not talking about the kind of, the social engineering that each party has. We're talking about a simple question out there. Why is it that the Gehlot government is silent on this? And it's coming at a time when you are supposed to, in fact, go into polls in the next 6 to 7 months. So if that is the case, why is the Congress, in fact, in such muddied waters? A very simple question being asked, and still there seems to be no answer to it. It looks like there's a 50-50 game going on between Gehlot as well as Vasundhara Raje. Is that the case?
Well, I think, it's sort of 50-50 case between Gehlot and Vasundhara Raje. But what I would say is that, I agree with Tehseen, but only up to a point. If you are a party loyalist and the party asks you to leave the seat, it's just a seat. It's all right. But the fact also remains that, it was Sachin Pilot first who raised the rebellion. And how far prudent the party is that, to accommodate a rebel, you are asking a party loyalist to give up his chair. That is a question mark. That is a question which stares at the face of many Congress leaders, and this is the reason why there are many in Gehlot's camp are livid to the fact that just to accommodate Sachin Pilot, you made a promise to him, and to ensure that somebody who stood by you in your worst of times is something which you are willing to sacrifice. And that is one situation which many in Gehlot camp have also not been able to come to terms with. So I think the situation is quite tricky. The Congress leadership thought that Gehlot would be as pliant as the situation would be, and he would leave his chair and pave way for Sachin Pilot. Gehlot decided that no, I'm not going to do no such thing. And ultimately, more than embarrassment, I think it was a very telling comment on lack of understanding of what is happening on the ground. The Congress top brass and the people you had sent to negotiate on behalf of the central leadership, the in charge, had absolutely zero idea about what is happening on the ground, that Ashok Gehlot is willing to rebel to such a level. And I think this is far more telling and worrisome than the fact that what you are listening as far as Pilot is concerned.
Well, Kartikeya Sharma also in fact joins us right now. Kartikeya, you've seen the debate coming in from all of them. You've seen how they are talking about this question about what is Gehlot in fact stuck in, and you have also the question of why this particular rebellion at this time.
Varghese, the seed of this crisis was sown in 2017 itself. If you look at three states, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, a lot of debate took place within the Congress party. Long rounds of meeting took place, and 3 photographs were issued from Rahul Gandhi's residence. And I think they quoted Leo Tolstoy. The first photograph was of Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot. The second photograph was of Bhupesh Baghel and T.S. Singhdeo. And the third photograph was between Kamal Nath and Jyotiraditya Scindia and I think Digvijay Singh. Jyotiraditya Scindia broke the party. T.S. Singhdeo continues to be unhappy. And Sachin Pilot is now trying to openly be rebellious. What has happened in the due course is that because Congress party lost elections very badly, the larger control of the Gandhi family within the Congress got eroded. They have lost their ability to manage various factions. See, one has to understand what the Gandhis had been doing in past 30, 40 years. They were managing factions. Vilas Rao Deshmukh, for example, Sushil Kumar Shinde brought Congress to power in Maharashtra, but they were able to make Vilas Rao Deshmukh. That was their power. For example, Jagan Mohan Reddy was powerful, but they made Rosaiya the chief minister and Kiran Kumar Reddy succeeded him. So they were able to manage multiple factions, but then some factions quit, destroying the Congress party in a couple of states. For example, Hemant Biswa Sarma is an example in case. In this case, Congress has not been able to manage leadership succession or control of party at the state level. And it is for this reason this problem brews. Gandhis themselves have not been able to win constituencies. The power of Narendra Modi does not lie in the fact that he's in front of the camera 24/7. Part of Narendra Modi lies in the fact that people believe that he can make difference to one's fortune in elections. Now that has gone away with the Gandhis. And it is for these reasons that none of them are listening to Rahul Gandhi. And lastly, I think what Sachin Pilot is doing should be music to Amit Shah's ear. I think it should make Amit Shah happy because the top brass of Bharatiya Janata Party is least interested in Vasundhara Raje Scindia. I think Mr. Pilot is doing a favor to Bharatiya Janata Party by taking up Vasu's issue.
Well, it looks like a favor being done. Tehseen, how do you see this now? We have these kind of rebellions happening across the Congress party. It's not that the Congress factionalism issue is dying off. In fact, states like Karnataka, where you'll be immediately going into an election where the Congress is facing the issue about Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivakumar having the kind of shadow boxing. So, as Kartikeya was saying, is it that the ability of the first family of the Congress, as a person who in fact keeps watch on that party, do you think that ability to control the factionalism has been eroded completely? Basically, their authority has eroded.
So let's understand two things, and I concur with what Kartikeya said to a great degree, but let's agree on two things. There is factionalism or aspirations in all political parties. It happens in the BJP as well. Please understand that Sonowalji was a sitting chief minister who was removed. Sonowalji was not declared as chief minister, and for days after the Assam election, even the most powerful prime minister in the country today or in recent times could not declare Himanta Biswa Sharma as Chief Minister immediately. So this happens. But the fact is that the Congress has a handicap. They don't have something to give in the central government, which the BJP has. So Sonowalji could be accommodated in the center, in whatever ministry and other things. So that is a handicap currently with the Gandhi family. So let's accept that and then move on from them. So it's not that it doesn't happen in the BJP. It happens in the BJP. Currently, 5 sitting BJP MLAs, 2 former ministers, 2 former MPs have come to the Congress. So there is that rebellion out there as well. What is telling is, if you don't have something to give, how do you resolve the issue? Now, Rajesh ji spoke about the rebel or the so-called rebel that Sachin Pilot did. He's right. But there is a context even to that. Sachin, unlike, say, the others, did not go to the BJP. He returned to the Congress. There were promises made in 2017. That's the context Sachin Pilot is coming from. So ultimately, you'll have to sit leaders down and you'll have to talk to them. And that should be your central theme. The fact is, if Sachin Pilot is feeling let down, so is Ashok Gehlot feeling let down. Now, politics, and I say this very, very with a lot of affection for the Congress because it's the party I vote for. Politics is the art of making everybody your friends, not making everybody unhappy. Unfortunately, what's happened for the Congress party in recent time is it's making everybody unhappy rather than making everybody happy. That, in my mind, is telling. For example, the leader Rajesh ji alluded to, who went to Rajasthan. Now, these Batura leaders, as I call them, so-called leaders who can't win their own Rajya Sabha elections, they can't win their deposit in an assembly election. How do you expect these leaders to call Ashok Gehlot ji and ask Ashok Gehlot ji to step down? You should have had somebody of stature, right? They can't win their own Rajya Sabha elections. They lose their Rajya Sabha elections after the Congress has enough numbers to get a Rajya Sabha seat. So you can imagine how incompetent they are. So 2 things that the Congress will have to do. One, the people around the Gandhi family have to be competent. If you have incompetent people, you will have these problems. Number 2, it is important that the Gandhi family for now deals personally with these issues and removes a solution. These solutions should now be in public domain and they should be resolved. Number 3, it is horses for courses.
But Tehseen, why is
the
it?
Best person who
why
can
is it when you had almost 5 years? Why is it that when you had almost 5 years, the question in Rajasthan was unresolved? When there was 5 years.
But it was not just Rajasthan, no? It is Karnataka, it is Madhya Pradesh, it is Himanta who left. So the point is not, you can't paint everybody
but
in the
here
same
was
brush.
a promising start. You had in fact called them in Rajasthan. Rajasthan.
One second, I'm saying something very important. Just 1 second, I'm saying something very important. You can't paint everybody in the same brush. So somebody like a Ghulam Nabi Azad goes, he's of no value to the party. But he will ride on it. But somebody like a Himanta or a Jyotiraditya is a value to the party. A Sachin Pilot brings value to the party. So I think it's also important to identify for those around the Gandhis, who are the people who need to be retained and who are the Gulams who can be made Azad. I think that the party is, you can't paint everybody in the same brush. So somebody who's not a mass leader going doesn't make too much of a difference. But some people are of value and those must be retained. Now, whatever it takes to retain them must be done. But again, let's not run down too much in the Gandhi family. We've seen even clips of the Honorable Prime Minister speaking to a BJP rebel in Uttarakhand, and the rebel refused to sit down. So this happens in politics, but the solutions, the BJP does it much better, perhaps because they have something to give in the center. The Congress is struggling with it. And therefore, those around the Gandhi family need to pull up their socks, be more competent, and the Gandhi family needs to deal personally with that. That's my solution to this.
Well, you're saying that they need to become more competent. Let's go to, in fact, Kartikeya Sharma. Kartikeya, you heard what Tehseen had to say, that they have to pull up their socks. But the issue is...
If you can allow me, I have a question for Tehseen. If you can allow me, Varghese?
Yes. Go ahead with your question.
Tehseen, my question to you is, Kartikeya, afternoon. If we look at post-2019 scenario from Punjab, where you had the problem with Amrinder Channi and Navjot Singh Sidhu, then you had Kamal Nath, Digvijay Singh and Jyotiraditya Scindia, then we had Mr. Baghel and T.S. Singhdeo and Mr. Baghel, we have Sachin Pilot and Mr. Gehlot, we have Siddharamaiah and DK's issue in Karnataka. The states where Congress party is in power or is doing well, you have the same lot of leaders, same lot of factions. But suddenly after 2019, even after 2017, I would say, it's the inability of the leaders to handle it. You just said, I heard you say that Congress leadership has nothing to offer them at center. Maybe this makes a difference. Is it also because of the fact that there is a lack of ideological bonding? Because if you look at the larger ideological exercise within the Congress party, it seems that the cadre is ideologically agnostic, because once these leaders go, the entire vote bank shift. If DK goes, he will take his vote bank. If Siddaramaiah goes, he can really crack up things. So, is it because at a larger level, the vote bank has become ideology agnostic? Unlike left leaders come and go, the base remains the same, even if it was shunned. And for BJP, Tehseen, it has only happened once with them in their entire lifetime. That is with Yedurappa. When he went, he took 10% of the vote. But when Kalyan Singh went, nothing happened. In fact, he became a political pauper. BJP's vote bank remained. Do you see that larger picture, Tehseen?
Yeah, I do see that picture. You're right on that, Karthik. And you know that you're somebody I absolutely look up to, and I always, whenever I've met you, I've discussed this with you. You covered the Congress well. I think the Congress has a serious problem to define what it stands for. I'm not speaking against anybody, but anyone who comes from outside is made state president. Look, I always tell the Congress leadership and people who matter, make somebody a chief minister, doesn't matter. Don't make them your PCC president. If you make an outsider your PCC president, your organization will get destroyed. It's simple logic. You see, in BJP, they will make an Eknath Shinde a chief minister. They will not make him a BJP state president, even if he merges his party. It won't happen, because you have to safeguard that ideology. So anybody who comes from outside is given importance. Let me give you another example. Shatrughan Sinha. He comes to the Congress. All his life he criticized the Congress. Comes to the Congress. Now, there was a brilliant candidate in Patna and in Darbhanga, Kirti Azad. Brilliant two Youth Congress candidates. Darbhanga Mayur Jha, very good guy. You should have given them the tickets. You gave Kirti Azad and Shatrughan Sinha. What happened? They went to the TMC just now. For what? For MPship. And what did Shatrughan Sinha do? While he was the Lok Sabha candidate of the Congress, campaigned against the Congress candidate in Lucknow for his wife, who was a Samajwadi Party candidate. What sort of ideology is this? The other day I saw Sharad Yadav's daughter doing a press conference. I don't know if you guys covered it. Great, I'm very happy for her. What is her contribution to the Congress? I'm seriously asking these questions. All his life, and Karthikeyan, you've covered, and Brijesh, you've covered Parliament, the kind of speeches Sharad Yadav ji is given against Mrs. Gandhi, the kind of personal language he's used against Mrs. Gandhi, against Mrs. Indira Gandhi, the language he's used. He is Rahul Gandhi ji's mentor. Rahul Gandhi ji himself said it. Why is she in the... I mean, I have nothing personally against her. I don't know the girl. And one more thing, the Congress is making a big mistake, Karthikeyan. And I'm saying this with a lot of pain. The echo chamber in the Congress is those who are clapping for the same things that the Congress is saying. They are not getting the fence sitters on board. Why is everybody your enemy? The art of politics is making friends, Karthikeyan. It's not making enemies. I read a book of a senior Congress leader who's today very close to Rahul ji, advises Rahul ji. In his book, this leader writes, and I'm quoting him, that he was responsible for splitting Andhra and Telangana. Great. And he says, I made both states unhappy. Arey bhaiya, you're in politics. If you split, you should have made both happy, not made both unhappy. The Congress got decimated in Andhra and Telangana. Like this association with wokeism and NGOism is killing the party. Absolutely. And it is terrible, because in my lifetime, Karthikeyan, I know you since 2007, 2008. In my lifetime, I have seen this party go irrelevant in West Bengal, Odisha. It's soon becoming irrelevant in Maharashtra. It's become irrelevant in Uttar Pradesh. And believe me, and it won 22 seats in Uttar Pradesh. It's becoming irrelevant because of these wokists. They have no idea. You just come, you make 3 speeches, abuse 2 people. The same echo chamber will clap for you. And that echo chamber extends to the Delhi journalists. That cannot be the case with a national party. It has to grow beyond that echo chamber. And I want to vote for the party. I want the party to win, and it can win 2024. But it has to be driven on an ideology. Anyone who comes from the BJP cannot be a state party president. It's difficult. What happens to a loyalist who's given 30 years to the party? Imagine, you see, after Rahul Gandhi ji, somebody else is a most popular leader. Some kid who's come yesterday, day before. So is Sachin Pilot not the most popular leader? Is Milind Deora not the most popular leader? Is Ashok Gehlot ji not the most popular leader? Is DK Shiv Kumar or Siddaramaiah not the most popular leader? Some kid who's come from a university is the most popular leader after Rahul Gandhi ji. I mean, right. Karthikeyan, is that possible? Just imagine where the party is heading.
Just go on to say that I think the biggest bane for the Congress party in last 5 or 6 years, apart from the decision-making issues or apart from the fact that ideological decentering had taken place, I I think the biggest problem is one, the inability of the leadership to be in direct touch with people all the time. An impression created by Prime Minister Modi that he can meet, no, everyone can meet him all the time. It's not as if you can go and meet Prime Minister all the time, but the impression which is there that he's accessible. And I can only say that because you took Hemanta's name, I had years back, and I can say this publicly, I had a cup of tea with Pema Khandu, and I said, boss, what happened? You surprised me because I had met you a day before. You never told me that you're going to shift to BJP. He said, I came to Delhi. I wanted an appointment, not because of the fact that things were not done. He was honest enough to say that things were almost done, but he still wanted to meet Rahul Gandhi and see if there is some hope. He said, I was made to wait. And this is him telling me that the appointment will be given after 3 days. He said, once that message came to me, he said, there are certain appointment with 7 RCR, then now Lok Kalyan. He said, I got it within, I think, 1.5 hour or 1 hour, 45 minutes. I met him and he said, I closed the issue. So sometimes it also boils down to how quick you are and how convincing you are in your interpersonal relationship. And I think a lot is wanted, but it's a big disservice that the oldest and a national party involved in freedom struggle decimates itself like Swatantra Party of 1970s, then it makes Indian democracy very vulnerable, because then you'll have the complete hegemony of one party and you will have multiple namesake national parties who will have no say, which would be like 70s. You had one Indira Gandhi with 300 plus seats, and you had Jan Sangh, Lok Dal, Kisan Party, and you can name them, and none of them had more than 54 in Lok Sabha, even including the left party. I think that's the biggest issue. But what Mr. Pilot is doing is bringing that crisis to a crescendo, where he can end up, at least, if not breaking the organization, breaking the last leg of credibility of Congress in Rajasthan.
Right. In fact, this is a topic that would, in fact, be reflected in the coming days itself, with so many elections and state elections coming in. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this News 9 special. Stay tuned for news programs on the other side.